All right, well, the main thing we have to talk about today is Arbor Day. I don't know, John, whenever you're ready, I guess we can get started.
I'm ready.
Well, we talked about having multiple locations for our event, and one of the locations is Frontier Park. Are they still going to be doing a giveaway that morning, John?
Yes,
From 8 to 12?
yes.
All right. Then another location is downtown here somewhere in Perry Square, but I haven't had a chance to talk to Dave. Have you, John? About if they wanted to do anything?
Dave Tamalonis.
Yes.
Somebody else was talking to him. I don't remember who.
Thank you. Okay, I don't have written down who either, so I can reach out to him if nobody else is able to. Or I can or maybe Arvin can help do that. And then we also have our location at the Orchard at Best, and from my understanding, that's all taken care of through Patty, but Patty couldn't be here today at today's meeting.
Okay, and Master Gardeners are going to work with them to plant the trees.
Yeah, so I just need to find out if he needs help buying them or not, still.
All right, so go back a step. The other giveaway location we talked about was the library.
Yeah, we haven't got to that location yet. That's next. I have the Glasgow Library as a tree giveaway location.
All right, Jamie was going to talk to David Tamalonis, and I thought David was going to plan to be here today. That's what we were last told, but...
Well, maybe he'll come late.
You know, I saw him in the lobby when I came down. I don't know where he was going. I didn't know he was coming here.
Oh, I don't know.
All right, so he might show up. We don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, at the library, so far, I have people who can man the table there is Steph and me, and Patty said she could be there for part of the time. And then I'm still trying to reach out to Steve Leskowski. Him and I have been playing phone tag. And then Arvin might be able to be there for a few hours that day. And then, so I'm pretty sure we'll be able to have that covered.
Okay, so,
'Cause I'll be able to get
and you are planning to be there, because what the
Right.
concern from
Yeah, I
the
said
lead
me.
people was that they have somebody knowledgeable about trees there, so you would do it.
Yeah. And then we can ask Ken, I don't know if you want Ken up at Frontier or Ken down at the library. But Ken's a volunteer also that we can get.
Yeah, well,
One of
either
those
way.
locations.
Either way, I mean, we have qualified staff at Leaf one way or the other, with or without Ken.
Yeah, and Steve, if he can come, he's also knowledgeable about trees. If he
Who?
could be, Steve Leskowski.
Oh, yeah.
The county forester.
Yeah.
Him and I are playing phone tag, so I haven't been able to confirm with him yet if he's doing any other events or if he's available.
Okay,
And then I have the Asbury Woods will plant one tree.
yeah.
And then our West Bayfront, Marissa. Did you folks decide whether or not you'll be able to plant a tree that day? Do you have any updates on that?
Yeah, so I do have a couple updates. I don't think we'll be able to plant anything that day. We looked back at our schedule because we're doing the City Nature Challenge that day as well.
Right.
And that was, previously on the calendar, so I think we'll stick with that. But we were thinking, we did move up the street tree planting to April 16th with some Gannon University students. So we're going to do our normal promotions of that where we, do our normal media stuff. We're going to include Gannon with that as well. I know we talked last time about for this group to have some sort of social media campaign. If you're still interested in doing that, I'd be
Can you
happy
hear
to make
her?
sure that our
I can't hear
content
you,
about the
Marissa, what is
trees
it? I
that
don't know
work.
if you can increase
Here,
the
hold
volume
on a
here.
second,
What's that?
Marissa.
Okay.
We can't hear you that good because you're coming out of a computer here. Craig, is there any way to get her louder so that everybody in the meeting can hear her? Can you say something, Marissa?
Sure. Can you hear me okay now?
No.
Not really.
Can you hear her?
No.
Oh, yeah? Maybe it's just where we're sitting.
She's coming out of these speakers here.
Yeah.
I'll see. Thank you.
Sarah, I have to
Oh.
step, give me 2 seconds.
Oh, that's it? That's good.
Okay, we can hear you now when you come back. Thank you, Mayor. Did you find Dave?
He's in another meeting up on the fifth floor. I said, well, I thought he said he was gonna come to this one. She was gonna go up and check with him.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, maybe he'll stop in.
Um,
And then, so what we plan to do, Mayor, is have multiple people planting trees in various locations throughout the city and giving trees away instead of just having one single Arbor Day event.
Good.
Okay, Marissa, I think we got the speakers working better. If you don't
Okay,
mind
good.
starting again, sorry.
No, you're okay, don't worry. So what I was saying was we have our city, I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, we are doing the City Nature Challenge that day. So I think our schedule, when we kind of looked at it, is probably pretty booked that day. But we did move up our street tree planting day to April 16th. And I know we were talking about maybe brainstorming some like social media around this project that you guys are doing. We'd be happy to include our kind of street tree planting media stuff in whatever you're doing, if that would be beneficial. So, you know, that, because we know obviously that we're planting trees in the West Bay front. And if that would be helpful, we can include that or make sure that we're resharing whatever you guys post for Arbor Day. But I think that's kind of where we've landed with that.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. We can still mention or somehow talk about too that those trees are part of Arbor Day, because you don't have to plant on Arbor Day, but we are trying to get as many folks as we can.
Right, and so I was hoping
Which
that
ones?
Jamie was going to be here today. What we want to do is develop a couple of hashtags that all the people who post, who plant and post a pic photo or a video or whatever, that we can then repost those, share them with a wide audience across social media. So we'll keep that's our goal anyway.
Yeah, so we want people, like, as they're planting trees, to take pictures and then send them in.
Yeah, or to post something, but if they post it with the hashtag, then we can find them
Oh, okay.
and repost them. We can share them. We can put them on a separate website or a Facebook page or whatever.
Yeah, that would be really fun, because we could probably put them, link to them, on the Leaf website and maybe the city's
Yep.
website or the Facebook page,
Yeah.
and then your website, Marissa? Some of the other partners maybe?
Right, and then encourage others to share
Yeah,
that.
we can post it. Yeah.
We still don't have a delivery date on those bare root trees, but the longer it's put off, the better April 16th looks. I was afraid that's pretty late if we get them the 1st of April, but we still don't have a date.
All right. And then Jamie was also going to put together a flyer, I think.
Right.
I think she's also working on that. And Patty I think she bought his public service announcements again this year, so I don't know how soon that information needs done, but I thought her and Jamie were working on that together, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. We're missing key players here today. Yeah, Patty did made a contribution to WQLN to get PSAs that could be used to promote this event.
Yeah, that was nice. And then, oh, John, did you get a chance to talk to Chris Stolance up at Mercyhurst?
I left him another
participating?
message, but I didn't hear from him, so I don't know what he's thinking.
Okay, I can try to email him too.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to have another input.
Yeah. I think it'll be fun, though. I think it'll be a good event. And then the mayor is going to mention Arbor Day that Thursday before, because the week before is Earth Day.
Right.
And then the Thursday, so our event, Arbor Day is actually Friday, the 28th, but we're encouraging all the tree planting on the 29th. That's when we're having the tree planting.
Well,
Or both days is what you're saying?
we're encouraging people to plant trees in April, in any way they
Right.
can, and then post something about it, and we share all that information in the context of Arbor Day. But, you know, they don't have to plant it on that particular day, any particular day, but,
Okay, so that's the day we're doing our tree giveaways.
exactly, that's the giveaway day.
Okay.
And if people get them and plant them and it's May, that's fine too. We want to see them share that planting.
And we did also obtain Tree City USA status again for last year. And so I think it's like our 17th or 18th year in a row. I have to confirm that, but that'll be something else that the mayor announces at his press conference on Thursday as well.
Good.
We did just get word for that, so that's good. And we have a Tree City USA flag. We can actually fly that week and on Arbor Day. So that'll be fun
Cool.
on the
Okay.
side of the building.
That's good. That, I think that's what we got in the works.
Yeah, I think that covers everything for Arbor Day.
Yeah, and our West Bayfront, Marissa's still here?
Yeah, she's still on. You just can't see her.
Okay.
There she is.
Yeah, if you can, if you would just, it'd be great if you produce a short video on that you're planting on April 16th, and we'll share that as I've described.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that. So what my kind of plan is, and Aaron and I touched base about it too, is we'll do like our, press release that we normally do, letting the news stations know that this is something that will be happening, that we're involving Gannett University. When we do that, we'll also include Gannett University's communications team as well, and then they will work with us too. And then I can just make sure that we're also looping. And I did mention it to Chris. I think when we talked yesterday. So certainly, I'll make sure everyone is looped in. And I'll also personally keep an eye on our Facebook page to see if there's anything that we can reshare, and we'll be sure to stay involved too. So.
Okay, so the staff at Leaf and Jamie are going to develop hashtags, and we'll share them and ask everybody to post those hashtags so that we can make sure that the word gets out. Do you have anything else on this subject, Sarah?
No,
I think
I'm good with Arbor
I
Day.
think we're pretty much up to speed.
Yeah, so Marissa, if you don't want to stay for the rest of the meeting, you don't have to, but it's up to you.
So
I would love to. We do have benevolent beers, so we'll just dip that. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Marissa. Thanks for your help in participating with Arbor Day events.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. No problem. No problem. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Our other main order of business is to develop a tree plan.
Oh, Aaron and Grace just jumped on.
Oh, good.
Oh, and the baby. Hi. Yeah, oh, perfect timing. Our West Bayfront jumped off. We were just going over the different things we are having for Arbor Day. So you folks at Leaf are all set. Right. I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, we were here, we heard them.
Oh, I didn't know you folks were on. Did you have anything you wanted to say for that's going on at Leaf?
Not really, other than hoping to talk to Jamie in the future about creating like posts for everyone to post instead of just like a hashtag. We wanted to make like a whole campaign for everyone to kind of repost, so that way it's a very coherent look, so it looks like a bigger event. But I have been in contact with her and just kind of waiting for a response back.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Yeah, the more publicity we can get, the better, I think. The better it works, the better it is for everyone.
Yeah, I think that's got to be the whole push of this year's effort. I mean, last year we had such a nice event, but relatively small turnout. And what do you want? We had a nice spring day.
Well, and it was the first year we've done an event, so I think that also contributed to it.
But, people have a lot of other things to do on a nice spring day. Like last year's, it was so nice and pleasant.
Right, if the weather's nice, they want to be outside doing something.
Right.
All right.
So, get back to the tree plan. One of the first components of it that is recommended and that we had hoped to be able to do was to do an inventory of the city's trees. We put that into the DCNR proposal that Sarah submitted, along with several partners, and we fortunately got that grant, but it's for an amount less than planned, and the one obvious thing that could be eliminated is the inventory. That's an expensive undertaking. But it doesn't mean that we can't proceed with planning. And
as I have mentioned before, John, we do have a lot of current existing data that we can still inventory, in a sense. Like, we can at least map out all the existing data,
Right.
even if we can't go out and get new data. So I think that will be a good baseline start anyway, with
Okay.
the funding that we do have.
And through LEAF too, we've been tracking for the Keystone 10 Million Trees project. We've been tracking the plantings.
Right.
So the ones that are in the city should be relatively easy to identify, and they can be part of that process as well.
I agree. And I think it'll be good to get the mapping of what we have. I think it'll be good to put our data into a visual display. And I think that it'll still give us a lot of good knowledge base for what we want to do. So I guess for us to really start sinking our teeth into urban forest plan, we'll probably have to focus maybe the April or the May meeting on that, if you want to start doing that, because we had talked about it before, but then we didn't really have time. And the last couple of months have been taken up with planning Arbor Day.
Right. So, yes, I think that would be appropriate to focus on that at our next meeting. That'll be shortly prior to this Arbor Day event, so we'll still have some conversation about that, but shouldn't be that much at that point. At that point, we should know what we're doing.
Yeah, and even all the data that you put in the IMAP PA, aren't they Excel sheets? Don't you have the data in another method that you put in there? Or maybe we'll have to talk to them about getting the data outputted from that program, because there's a lot of data in there too.
Yep.
And I think they can import and export to Excel.
I think so too, yeah.
So we should try to get that data also. Yeah, I wish that program worked better. Yeah. And we have the whole manual to go through and everything. And I already have copies of all that stuff printed out, so I'm ready to go for the next planning discussion.
Okay. What else can we talk about today that move us in that direction?
we still want to encourage the folks to watch the webinars that you sent around about that as well. So I can send out a reminder, because I don't know if everybody's seen them yet, for the urban forest planning.
Yeah, and, you know, those two webinars that, the one that I shared, that was, I think a Penn State one, about mitigating tree, sidewalk, curb.
Conflicts.
Conflicts by planning and what you can do to avoid that. There was another one that ran yesterday, and then I couldn't do it after all, so I'm hoping that they share that.
Yes, I also missed that webinar, and I was hoping to see it, because that's the biggest complaint we get here at the city is the trees are lifting the sidewalks.
Right.
And so it's a very common complaint
Yep.
that we need to deal with.
And obviously, the people all over are dealing with it, and there are lots of potential ways to address it. And
Right.
some are relatively low cost. Some of them involve planning so that when you plant trees that are apt to cause those conflicts in the future, that there are ways to go about it that will minimize that.
Yeah, different species are better for that, and there's the traditional cutouts, but there's also things you can do to ramp up over the roots and stuff
Right.
that are alternative. I really wanted, in the past, I wanted to do a demonstration project. Like, I wanted to pick a location where there's a big giant tree and significant lifting from the roots, and then do a demonstration project. Because I think part of the problem is nobody's ever seen it work, so they don't realize they could do it. But I don't know, that's something we can look into in the future.
Yeah. Not only going up and over the roots, but going around them, curving the sidewalk a little bit around the roots, and if the situation allows, is certainly a legitimate solution. There are mechanical barriers that you can put in place when the tree's planted, or after the fact, when you lay a new sidewalk, that will keep tree roots down at a level that won't interfere with the sidewalk. Another, I don't know, maybe you know something about this, Mayor. Another thing that's what the first suggestion they make is think about doing your sidewalks in asphalt, permitting asphalt. I think probably now we probably don't permit that because I don't see them.
I don't think so.
But there's no good reason not to do that.
Sometimes they allow asphalt patches, like if a slab of cement lifts up higher than the other one, you can put a temporary patch in, and that's not always cement, sometimes that's asphalt, but I'm not sure. I think the ordinance states what the materials can be made of, the sidewalks can be made out of, it's probably is cement or concrete.
Yeah, concrete or pavers, yeah, but.
And I think years ago, people didn't plan for that. They just put sidewalks in, and trees in, and
Right.
didn't care about where the roots went. But there's certainly a lot of problems with that around the city.
Sure.
I see a lot of them.
Yeah,
Well, and, the training webinar emphasized that the value, often, nobody considers the value of that large tree on site and what that provides in terms of, you can actually monetize that. And
to
it's-
how much air was cleaned, how much stormwater was absorbed.
Exactly, and shade for the surrounding streets and buildings, et cetera, all those benefits, they're real. And when you cut down a tree because it's lifted the sidewalk, you haven't done the calculation. You haven't figured out what that's really worth. So
Yeah, that's what was nice about that iMap, that iTree mapping tool, because it did all those calculations for you. I wonder if we can try to get the formulas ourselves so we can help do that for people, to get that information out there. Because they have to be standard calculations that we could use, because it's based on, the size of the tree, and the type of tree matters sometimes, but I still think you could probably get a pretty good baseline calculation and figure some of that stuff out, because that's good information to be able to say to people about the trees.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that a big part of a successful tree plan is educating the public about the value of those trees and what it means both to them as property owners and to the city as a whole. Because if you don't understand that, then you're not going to do the right thing.
Yeah, and that brings up another topic for tree planting. I do have quite a bit of funding available to plant trees this year, in addition to the grant that we received. So I don't know, Grace, if you guys have started a list of people who have requested trees through you that live in the city, or if you've just been forwarding me that information one at a time. But I do plan on getting a tree planting project out. I don't know if I'll have time to do it this spring, but I'd like to. And then there's probably enough funding to do another one in the fall as well, especially with the new grant. But I need help identifying homeowners and locations.
Yeah, so K10 does send us some homeowners that are interested, when they get contacted. I know me and Aaron both get those emails, and then we do get quite a few emails about wanting to plant trees in the city of Erie. We have typically what we do is we add them to our email list for the giveaways, but we also do I have all those emails archived, so I could definitely start compiling a list of people interested in trees within the city.
Yeah, because, like I said, because there's definitely funding to do a tree planting project this spring. And one in the fall.
Yeah, and I know of some Erie schools as well that are interested in getting more trees. If we wanted to do something like that too, because I know Harding, the softball field, they wanted more trees around, and then a couple other schools.
The city funding, typically I can only plant in the right of way, but with the DCNR grant, we can plant on other areas of the school grounds because it's still public land. So we would be able to do that with either one funding source or the other.
Does that apply to the housing authority as well? Good, because they have lots of property and they're very cooperative. We've planted a lot with them already, but there's tons of space that we could plant on housing authority property.
Yeah, their property is eligible as well because it's public land.
Right. Okay. And that directly addresses a low moderate income neighborhood. Our desire to address the shortage of trees in those neighborhoods.
Right, so depending on where the tree is, it would just be which funding source I would use, because some of the money is restricted to right-of-ways, but some of it is not. And I think Steph and Mark have joined us also from the Urban Forest Committee. Steph and Mark are joined the meeting. They're here on the meeting listening to us.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been here since it started.
Oh, Stephanie's here?
Yeah, so is Mark. Hi, Mark. Hi, Steph.
So Stephanie,
John Mark's talking. What was that, Mark?
I'm not missing on the computer, but I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, did you have a question, John? for me?
yeah, I did. So the library, the contact person at the library and whatever, that we want to plug them into the promotional part of this. Hope that they'll help us promote it. Who are you dealing with at the library?
Oh, yeah, they want to, but what they need from us is They asked if we could put them as the host on our Facebook page for the event, which I know we do not have. And I told them I'd get them the flyer as soon as we have it. So I guess I'm just waiting for those materials, or if I can help with them. I certainly try. I didn't know if we were even able to have a Facebook event for this, since it would come through the city. But we are ready to go with the library.
Okay, all right. So, is the Leaf staff still on here? We can't see who's on the call.
Aaron and Aaron and Grace, are you still on as a participant?
Oh, yeah, hi.
John had a question for you.
All right, so you and Stephanie should get together about the library. The library is happy to help promote this, but you guys should communicate directly.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I can your email's on the email chain, so I can just contact you. My email's not on it. My sister's is. But we were talking about doing a little giveaway almost. Trying to think of a better word for it, because giveaways will be calling the trees. But we were thinking about all the people who enter into and give us pictures of who planted trees could be entered to win prizes. That we donate, so we could donate a tote and some shirts from the Leaf organization. We were hoping that the library would be able to donate some stuff as well to add to that, to kind of incentivize people to participate. And so that was kind of some of the ideas we're thinking about. But we could definitely talk about this later, and I could get your email and start a conversation with you.
So like a drawing for participants?
Yeah. So it would be if you send us a picture, you enter to win kind of like a goodie bag of stuff.
That would be nice. That would be nice to encourage people to post their pictures or videos. Great.
All right, so I'll assume you're connected. Anybody else out there that we don't know who's who's here?
I think that's it.
That's it? Okay. That's good. I don't know. What else can we talk about today?
I think that pretty much is good.
We pretty well covered the Arbor Day thing.
I'm sorry, what, Mark?
I was gonna have a comment about the inventory. I came in at the end, you're talking about the inventory. There's partial inventories you can do to get an idea of what's happening as well. There's areas that aren't covered with no data. You don't do full inventory. You can use partial inventory to just get an idea. If you're just taking a pocket of one area, just to get an idea. So there's some other options with inventory. But the thing with that eye tree, I think all the parts have been, ID'd, haven't they?
No. The only inventories that were done in the parks is the perimeters. So it's only the right-of-ways. I have a huge, I have a lot of data of trees that I've inventoried already. That's what I was saying. I think instead of going out and doing a new inventory, there's a small amount of funding, but I think it would be great to use the funding to map out all our existing data so you could actually see and visualize where have all the trees been cut down for the last 20 years and where have they been planted, and are there entire city areas of the city that we've missed or who we haven't targeted for new trees, or you know what I mean. I think that would be really good.
Yeah.
And we do have Leaf has a lot of data on trees that they planted, and there's a lot of data on the iTree map software that we were using for a while. And so I think gathering all our existing data is a great first step for the inventory.
So it's just all over the place, it's not just all in one place, is what you're saying? It's not all in iTree?
No, because iTree, we haven't, all my earlier data, none of it's in iTree. So it's only the last couple of years of trees that Leaf has planted, and some of the trees that I inspected are in iTree. But iTree doesn't sync with the new iPhones, so we're not able to use it anymore. And so, even though it's really super great information, and it does the calculations for you, like on stormwater saved and carbon absorbed and like all the great calculations on trees, the software, we're not able to use it anymore. And so it's kind of a bummer.
Really?
Yeah, are you still able to use it?
No.
Have you been using it lately? I can't
Yeah,
get it
just
to
up
work
this on it,
anymore on
can't
my
you
phone. I'm sorry, what was that?
Can't you just input the information onto iTree? I don't understand, iTree doesn't work?
It hasn't been working for me. I can't
I mean,
even
'cause
get it to
homeowners
open
can
up
go
on
on
my
there.
phone. Because you have to be registered as a
Plug in
participant.
their info right now for individual trees, and it'll pop up the info. There's like 4 different versions now.
But to be able to use it as an active participant, you have to be signed up with DCNR and have a password to go in there. Otherwise, you're just viewing data that's already been put in. But to put in new data, that's the part that doesn't seem to be working. And a few of us have reached out to the folks at DCNR to try to figure out what's going on, and we haven't been able to get in touch with somebody and figure it out. Isn't that
Well, that would be a
your-
nice thing to
the way
try
you
to
understand
figure
it,
out.
John?
Yep.
Have you been using it lately, Mark? Do you use it to enter data?
I just would screw around with it sometimes, just with some stuff, with some customers' info, just screwing around with it, but I know what you're saying. I know it can be difficult to get everything to kind of interact together.
Yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't seem to be letting me upload new data. And I haven't been able to work it out. I don't know, I mean, we can look into it again if somebody wants to look into it, but regardless, we have all that existing data, and I think that would be a good start for a base for the inventory. And then start.
And is the data in Excel, Sarah, or it's not in Excel even?
All of my data is in Excel. I'm not sure what
Okay.
format Leaf's data is in. And I know the IMAP tools data can be exported in Excel. They import or export with Excel, so we should be able to get that data somehow as well. And then I'm hoping we can use some kind of GIS software then to map it all. Because it can
Yeah, that's the way to go.
generate a location from
Too bad
the Excel
somebody-
data. Like all my Excel data has an address. It doesn't have the exact point, but it at least get us close enough, at least get us at that property.
Can any of this grant money be used instead of actually doing an inventory, but used to get our inventory set up and working properly, I wonder?
Well, that's what we're gonna do with the money we have. We needed 200,000 to do the inventory. I think we have like, I don't know, it's eight or 12 is what we have to actually do it. So I'm hoping we can somehow use it to gather all the data and come up with the GIS system that we can enter all the existing data and then use that into the future as we get new information. That's exactly what we're hoping to do with it.
Gotcha.
We just don't have funding to pay people to go out and do new inventory work. But, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying?
expensive.
But I think it's good to input all the data we have as the base layer.
I think you can also use that as a place to start putting open spots that need planting. You know, it's a good place to put that data included in there.
Yeah, once we
Open
get a
spaces.
software system going, yeah, I agree. Anytime we find locations, we can put that in there too.
Well, that's good. That's great.
And I mean, and I add that stuff in my data, but I just have Excel sheets. All my data's in Excel. Like I have a planting list of where we could plant and where we have planted, and a removal list, trees that need, are on the waiting list, and trees we have cut down. And then I have potential spots where we could plant. but none of it's in, it's not, it's just on a GIS, and I can't map it out to see it, you know what I mean? I don't have a good way to quantify all that data
Good
other
start,
than to just
though.
total it all up. And it's pretty impressive because I think we've planted over 2,000 trees in the city. Since I've been the arborist. Because it would be cool if we reach a certain number and then have a big event, like this is our 2,500th tree that we planted or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I
So,
think we might have missed the 2,000 mark.
A couple of questions that I just wanted to bring up here. People have actually asked me, the stormwater, now that the bills are out, people are finally paying attention, you know. So the stormwater fee ordinance, does it take into account trees?
No,
Trees in it?
I think it's just a standard per property.
So if the fact that you maintain a mature tree doesn't impact your stormwater?
Currently, it does not, because the residential amounts is not that
Yeah,
significant
it's
for
not.
the year.
Right?
And so they didn't factor that in. I mean, it might be beneficial to look into that for commercial properties, because commercial properties are what have the huge amounts of
Right.
square footage where that would really make a difference, especially properties with parking lots and stuff. If they did green infrastructure in their parking lot and had like bioswales and trees growing in it, that would be really awesome. And so if you could create incentive for that to get a reduction, that would be really awesome.
Exactly.
But I don't know if I don't think they haven't looked into it that deeply yet.
It's not in the current ordinance then?
No.
Okay.
But
Well,
it's
I mean,
definitely
that-
something we should encourage.
Yeah, that's something that we should be working toward, because we want those kinds of things to take place, and they do in fact reduce stormwater, and there should be a recognition of that, so that as developments are planned, they incorporate things that reduce stormwater and get credit for it. Yeah. Okay, so I got the answer to that one. The other one is that there's a large grant available for acquisition of urban forests. So an existing, to assist municipalities in acquiring existing forests. And I think about the one that the Vendetti's own.
Yes.
That's a big chunk of forest.
It's forested wetland also,
And it's wetlands, exactly.
which makes it even more significant.
Right, and it's in proximity to McClellan Park, too. So I know that they announced they're going to be doing development, but I kind of question the economics of that in the city these days. It's not like we don't have enough space for housing.
What is the funding source for that grant, do you know?
Nuts. I don't recall. I just got an email on it this week.
Yeah, maybe you could forward that to me,
Yeah, okay. I will.
just to make sure I have it. Yeah, because that would be a really great piece of property to get.
I mean, I'm sure they're paying some taxes on it now, but it's probably clean and green, so it's not much.
Anything else we need to talk about?
Before we adjourn?
I don't have anything else. I don't know if John does.
No, I think that's it. I think, as I've said numerous times, once the Arbor Day thing is over, we got to focus on the tree plan. But the kind of things that we're talking about would be incorporated in that. And so they're all moving us in the same direction. Yeah, I don't have anything else, so.
Does anybody else, are we good? Okay, we're all good. Well, thanks, everybody.